What up again, dudes? It's been a minute and I almost didn't make this video, but I was like, dude, whatever, man. There's a lot of people making videos about how sales were under and all this other crap. So I thought I would make a video to explain to Bungie how they need to roll out their DLCs to have longevity, have more value to the playtime of the players, and just all that stuff, man. Because it seems like right now the game was all good and then they threw all their guns out, and now when you get your milestones done, there's really no in-game content. There's really nothing to do except for Crucible and strikes, and that's kind of boring, dude. So I'm just going to explain the reasons that I believe would take Destiny to another level as far as how they lay out their DLCs. Now let's get started. Alright, let's start back from the basics, Destiny 1, and let's start off with the weapons and the difficulty. So if you see here, dude, these were weapon perks back then. 3 clusters in 1 mag, like all these cool perks, hella reload, play and spray, spray and play, whatever. Best in FR4 with life support, army of 1, where if you got any kill, it charged your grenade and your melee. You had Grenadier that kills charge your grenade. Counterbalance back then was actually a fun thing to have because it actually worked. And then you go to counterbalance in D2, and you can't even tell on if it's on half the guns. Like right here, the non-counterbalance weapon, same stat, machine gun, submachine, the one without it was doing more accuracy than the one with it. When that wasn't a thing in D1, they were really awesome. And then you have the holy grail of scout rifles, the God Roll PvE Scout, which was army of 1, explosive rounds, and life support. That was the best scout rifle to have in anything PvE related, dude. It was a freaking beast. Explosives back then did way more damage, up to 600 more hit points a shot. Crazy, dude. And then with Crucible, you take all of our choice away, where we have to basically play what you want us to play based on RNG, whether it be Clash, Countdown, which I hate. You know, we just don't get that option anymore. You know, in D2, it's like, you know, like I want to enjoy my time playing what I want to play. And I thought that maybe y'all were going to correct that, you know, after D2 first launched, but y'all never did. And it's not good, man. Like, we want our options back. You're making us do what you want us to do. That's not cool, man. Like, we're the player and we are paying you to do what we want, pretty much, man. Like, we're in 2018 now. People don't want to be told what they can and can't do anymore in video games. Alright, moving on. Armor. The thing with armor, it's cool. I love the random rolls. It's really awesome. But I thought when Forsaken launched, it was going to be a little better than what it was in D1, and it wasn't. What you need to do is give one more armor perk on top of the perks that we already have, and that would be an actual upgrade to the game from Destiny 1 to D2, not backtracking and then giving us some of the stuff back. It's still not better than D1, man. Like, you need to give us the plus one more armor perk. That way it feels like a Destiny 2 and not a Destiny 1 reboot beta or something like that. I don't even know what this is called, man, but one more perk. Like, look at this. Gain a boost to recovery per grenade kill, stacks for 20 seconds. Melee kills increase agility. Those are kind of the kind of perks that need to be on top of the normal perks we have right now, and that would really set the game over the top. And then as far as your subclasses, you need to bring it back like this, bro. Like, you let us choose whatever we want to do with whatever super we want. So what if I wanted to use Phoenix Dive with Well of Radiance? That way, if a boss, you know, if I'm trying to melt the boss can't stomp me away because, hey, I got Phoenix Dive, and I can prevent that. And then with the Art class, you took away Perpetual Charge, but you brought back Pulse Wave? I mean, come on, dude. Perpetual Charge was grenade kills charge melee, melee kills charge grenade. That's freaking beast, dude. Like, such a good thing to have with the Arc. And what if I wanted to do Arc Soul or something with the Chaos Reach? You know, you need to give us those options back so we can actually build a Guardian. Now, when it comes back to D1, if you go to any of the planets, you see the layout like this, where you have all the story missions, which is cool and all. And I'm not saying bring your story missions back like this. What I am saying is, what you're doing with the adventures, you need to have those rotating weekly, and not just give us every adventure right when we're done with the story, because once we do those, we really don't care about doing them anymore. And you also need to have the lost sectors. If you add any more, make them hidden and unknown. Don't tell us how many there are, and don't do, you know, don't even let them, you know, put them on the map or anything. I mean, how awesome would it be if I just walked onto Titan or any new place that you give us, and all of a sudden I see, oh, here's an open air duct. Let me crawl in here. Never been here before. I have no idea where this place leads. And then all of a sudden you see on your map that you discovered a lost sector. Now you've added intrigue and mystique to your game, and I can just imagine all the people on their YouTube channels being like, hey dude, check out this new lost sector I found. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you add more mystery to your game, and that's what we want. We don't want to be told where everything is, man. Like, I think Quentin Tarantino said it best when he directs. he treats the audience as if they're not retards. You know what I mean? And let them figure it out themselves. And that's exactly what you need to do with Destiny 2, man. Like, you're giving us too much leeway, and you're taking away, you know, a lot of the coolness to it or whatever, you know? And then when we find the lost sector, you need to make it to where these are like the hardest enemies to defeat, like Wish Ender type enemies in here, where we almost got to get a fire team to come back to this place, or we can try to solo it, but it needs to be a memorable fight. Alright, now with these dudes, as far as your adventures on your planets, these people need to have bounties for the rotating adventures. Like those bounties at the bottom that you have, dude, nobody's doing those unless we have to do them, and when we have to do them, we're pissed off because it's a waste of our time. So it would be a lot cooler if you set it up like the Dreaming City, where it's like, you know, you get the bounty for the story mission of that week, or the rotating adventures, and the adventures need to be Nightfall level, not some 200 mission when we're 600 light, dude. Like, we don't want it, we want challenge, we don't want this baby walkthrough bullcrap that's going on. Like, all these people, Devrim, all them, they're all irrelevant now. Like, nobody's gonna do these missions anymore. They're, you know, once you're past this DLC, this is all like, you know, dust in the wind, dude. There's these limited time weapons. That ain't nothing, dude. Like, you need to make this a relevant part of the game again, and it's just not right now, dude. It's like dead content that we don't even, it's just tumbleweeds, man. Fix it. But yeah, right here with the Broken Courier, you need to have different layouts. Like, maybe use all solar weapons on the adventure of that week, or, you know, like, I don't know how you would do it. I'm just saying, like, you're giving us all the content right at the front gate, and then when it's over with, we're left with nothing else to do, and it's just boredom. People go on to other video games. I mean, the reason I play it is for the shooting in general. I don't play it for the content, really. I play it for the shooting, and I think as my, you know, probably 10,000 hours into this game since D1, day one, I think that I know what would make longevity by now. Not to sound like a freaking prick or anything, but it's like, damn, man. Alright, now with the end game. You need to have a PvE strike league. I'm just naming it that for whatever reason. But the PvE strike league would calculate your time points, your sparrow trick points, revive points if you revive people, your kill type points, whether it's multi-kill, headshot, body shot, and then same type kills start point deterioration, so you can't spam the same weapons, same knives, and then the most points wins extra loot for your chosen faction. You bring the faction people back in this where they're relevant every week, and then you choose a faction every week as you normally would, and then you also get ranked on the leaderboards as a team. So you're also fighting your teammates, trying to get the most points, but at the very end, you're also ranking as a team to get the fastest times. So there's also teamwork, but there's also a solo capability to it as well, where you're basically on your own trying to get the most kills, and that benefits real in-game content where you can use your max light. The PvE strike league would be max light. You get, you know, real in-game content. It's competitive. Your build would 100% matter. So say you launch a strike and you're in the PvE league, bam, now you're about to launch in the strike, and it would say right here like the strike that would be named, like Lake of Shadows or whatever. And then when the strike starts, if we had these nodes where we could like attach any node to whatever super we want, we could build for the strike we're about to do, and then obviously whoever had the best build on, the best run, the best points, you know, just who tore it up the most would win extra loot for their faction. Maybe it's materials, maybe it's tokens for the faction, something to give back to the faction, to where you can trade it in for whatever gun they're offering you for that week, which could be like maybe any gun in the game with like a god roll on it. And then when it started out, bam, the race is on. You better start hauling ass because you want to get that, you know, faction loot for your team or your faction or whatever, you know. And then you're also trying to help each other out. But yeah, right there I just put points earned, where you can kind of see where the points would stack up. And this also would make Guardians better rather than run past everything, which is almost what always happens when I play strikes. Just a bunch of dudes running to the finish line, and it's not any fun because you got to keep running with them, or you can try to kill and keep running. But it's like, dude, this would make people actually practice on regular strikes to prepare for the PvE league that would maybe happen once a month, like Iron Banner does. So bam, you get done with your strike, you go to all these people that are irrelevant right now until faction rallies back around, and then bam, you just give them all of your tokens. Like say you chose this faction, bam, you did a faction, you know, strike league, get a lot of materials. You can give them the stuff that you got from winning, trade it in for stuff that they were offering you that week for your wins. That's a real way to add in-game content and let, you know, people, PvE players who are solo players, have something to do when all this is over with. And then you can also bring back this guy, where he could be like the PvE league, like Vanguard Quartermaster, where like he has guns that anybody can buy, and then as well as your faction guy can have a faction specific weapon or whatever you can buy that week. But just saying, bros. Alright, as far as your Nightfalls, there needs to be 2 Nightfall versions. There needs to be one like it is now, where you can set your own modifiers, whatever, farm it out if you want to. And then there needs to be one that's like the D2 OG Nightfall, where it had like a 15-minute timer that counted downwards. And then for doing that, maybe if you do it like 3 times or 4 times or 5 times that week, you can get, you know, enough points racked up to where you can trade those points in to get the Nightfall specific drop for that strike or something. I don't really know. I don't really have all that worked out. You know, you're the developer. I'm just letting you know that I did like the previous Nightfall version where it was the counter that timed down. And then I also like the new version where it's like, you know, pick your own mods. I think there should be 2 Nightfall versions though, where you can basically grind for different things depending on what Nightfall version you're trying to do. And I just think that would be really cool. And then if you wanted to do the guided games, man, you should just have it like matchmaking like strikes. Like, I don't understand why you don't do that. But anyways, that's my like whatever version of the Nightfall. I think that would maybe add more longevity, add more fun. Because the Nightfalls, I mean, once you're done with doing it one time, you're pretty much bored and there's nothing else to really do, man. Like, the game is depleted right now. It is freaking empty. So alright, moving on to Sparrows. In D1, you let us boost our Sparrow 5 times before we got that cooldown to where we couldn't do it again. And I don't understand why or how it would break the game if you gave us unlimited Sparrow boost. Those of you that don't know that, when you're driving your Sparrow, you can actually let go of the gas and pump it twice to get extra speed. And it makes that little meter at the bottom left go down as you pump the gas, basically. So I don't know why or how that would break the game, man. Just let us have unlimited Sparrow boost so we can really haul ass around these planets and make Sparrows a lot more fun than they were even in D1. They were way more fun in D1. You had way more cooler tricks. They were easier to do, and just bring that up, man. Just make it unlimited. Who cares, dude? All right, and this one, maybe people will disagree, and I'm not talking about Titanfall here. I'm just talking about a simple wall bounce. If I jump into a wall and put my back against it and hit jump again, that would be really cool if I could jump off the wall to make more tactical fight. I just feel like as Destiny's gone on, they haven't changed any of the fight mechanics in it, and if you play like any game, like Uncharted or any other game, the sequels always have better fighting tactics and just things like that. And I think it's time for Bungie to add a little more work into that as well. And like I said, I'm not talking about wall sliding or anything like that, any gay shit like that. I'm just saying, like, boom, just put your back against the wall, hop off of it. Maybe it has a small cooldown, maybe it doesn't. But add a little more tactic to the fight instead of how it's always been since day one, D1. It hasn't changed hardly any at all, dude. So I'm just saying, maybe it's time to upgrade some mechanics, give us a little more things to do during the fight that makes it a little more enjoyable. Alright, and the next one is all about the stats. If you ever notice on Hunter, Titan, and Warlock, you can't get the same stat setup as you can. It seems like the Warlock got all the best builds where you can do like 10-0-10 builds and things like that, but you always got to have resilience on a Titan and majority of the time on a Hunter. I just think it's time to where we can do whatever stats we want to on whatever Guardian we want to make ultimate builds instead of building around all that resilience and stuff that we really don't even want to begin with most of the time. Alright. Now onto the blues. Every time you delete a blue or anything really, you get basically shards off of purples and weapon parts off of blues, sometimes mod components as well. You need to have it to where you can get fragments of shards of masterwork cores. Like maybe you get like 1/8 of a shard or whatever, and then when you get 8, you get a full masterwork core. That way when you get blues and stuff, it's not like such a downer and just a waste of time. You have a chance to actually get more masterwork cores by getting fragments off of the deletions of them. I just think that would add a little more coolness. You get more masterwork cores, and deleting a blue, you know, isn't worth nothing basically but weapon parts. You actually can get other things off of it as well. But that's just my take on it. Add some masterwork shards. Alright, shooting range. Who hates buying a gun or wasting your stuff to get a gun, and then you hate the way it shoots? Well, with a shooting range, I'm sorry, Bungie, this soccer field stuff just isn't working out, bro. You either need to put some vehicles we can ride around the tower in, like little small scooters or something, I don't know, or you need to add a shooting range, because I think a shooting range would be really awesome. Like right here, oh, you want to try out this gun you may be potentially buying? Well, you can come right here and throw a few shots off to kind of try it out. That way you're not wasting your time grinding for something you probably are going to hate after you get it. You know, that would go for any gun, basically. Say you don't want to do that long malfeasance quest, well, at least get to try it out first before wasting a week of your time. Like, I wouldn't have even grinded it, probably, if I'd known it was going to be that long. But, cool gun, but I just think a shooting range for other weapons as well would just be a cool thing to add in the game. And that's it, dudes. That is some of the stuff that I believe Bungie could make changes to add more longevity, make this the greatest game they have ever made, and the best shooter that exists. I just think this is just some stuff they could do, man. I like what they're doing. I like everything else. But on top of what they're doing, they should add things in like this to make more longevity, more mystique, harder activities, more challenge, and overall, just a beast game that it can be. And I'll catch y'all next time, bros, in space.